Hey everybody, welcome back to Happy Get Together to Row. It is Thursday night, and Thursday is when we release our Ukraine read. So specifically, we've been doing a weekly read about the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. And, last couple of weeks we did Days of the Week. This time we're going to do something a little bit different. We've put the Justice card down as our significator, and we're going to just do a read in regards to justice.
Yes, justice, dealing with this Ukraine-Russia. We are also only going to do a major arcana read today. And, justice for a couple of reasons. Number one, we'd like to see how this goes. And we're going to draw 4 cards here. Mm-hmm. And justice, because Vladimir Putin is a Libra.
Right. And justice because we want to see what the balance is.
Yes.
What's sort of hanging in the balance, and maybe what is the outcome?
Yes.
At least in the short term.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to do 4 cards. The first card that we will turn over is going to be the present situation. Mm-hmm. Let's see what the Deviant Moon cards have to say about this. So present situation is strength. Well, we're definitely seeing a show of strength with all of the military.
It's almost like there's a question here, like, can the beast be tamed? And, we've got to kind of identify, like, who is the beast in this situation?
Right.
What is the rational part that we want to overcome that beast?
Right. So that's the present situation. Like, who is that putting their head in with this beast? Like, who is dabbling in the mouth of war, in the mouth of unrest, in the mouth of a possible coup? There's a lot of people that are dabbling in that mouth right now. Mm-hmm. But,
many shows and feats of strength, or, attempted shows and feats of strength. In fact, that's what I see on the news is like, oh, this is how many tanks we've got, and this is how many tanks we've got, and this is how much air we've got. It's just like, yes, let me show you my big, strong muscles. I will defeat you. I will defeat you. So I think everybody in the situation thinks they're operating from a place of strength.
It's kind of like a redneck with their big old truck. Yes. So, Strength card is the current situation, and absolutely, if you turn on the TV and you ask about Russia, Ukraine, all we tend to see are these tanks that are firing ammunition over and over again and just barreling through. And so, we see that. We see ya.
Okay, so the second card is the scales, and this indicates what needs to be weighed up.
Yeah, what needs to be weighed up with this situation? What do we need to weigh? Let's see. The world.
Oh, well, what is at stake? The whole world. A lot of people are saying this would be the biggest sort of invasion since World War II. And, so it looks like we're staring in the face of a World War III situation for a lot of people.
Yeah, it absolutely could be. And, there's still this look to me almost like the devil card, like there are these 2 beasts down here, and 2 up here as well, so all the beasts are just kind of traveling around in a circle, right?
It's interesting to me. There's a snake eating their tail. That's sort of a sense of eternity, and the idea that all things are die and are reborn in one way or another. So the world is the end of a cycle. It's the last of the major arcana. So what needs to be weighed out perhaps is how to end this, how to bring this to an end, in the way that is balanced for everybody.
Yep, time to bring it full circle. And, I also see that They have, some firepower, and a lot of balance.
It is a very balanced card. Yeah. It's sort of like we've got everything we need. And here's the thing. Everybody in this situation does have everything they need. So
I guess Ukraine could use a whole lot more firepower on their own. But
it's true. But they've been fighting this war for a while. They know what they're doing.
It is what it is, I guess.
So the third card is the sword.
And the sword represents
what action we should take, or what events will occur.
All right, let's see what this has to say. The Magician.
Ooh.
That's a manifesting card here. I guess I need to show you all these cards. Love them. So there is the Magician, and that is about what action to take. So to me, that looks like someone, trying to figure out what action to take. And I keep hearing over and over again that sources say that they don't believe that Vladimir Putin, well, I don't know if they don't believe that Vladimir Putin knows what action he's going to take. I think that we just don't know what action he's going to take. And therefore they represent that as, oh, we don't know what he's going to do next.
That's like the $90 billion question at the time is, what is he going to do? The other thing this card points toward is what kind of event might occur. So this tells me that there's somebody out here who's really willing to pull out all of the stops, use all of their resources and power to get what they want to get to.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And if they have to do some shadowy, shady work in order to get that done, and they have, all the resources, they have all the elements at their disposal. And, like they've been talking about the weather there in Ukraine and how that could, make or break how many tanks and how, how much of that military installation can be rolling over there.
The other thing this makes me think of, though, is the multi-pronged attack, right? So, here's Russia doing this thing that everybody can see them doing, sort of surrounding Ukraine's borders and even out in the sea with war weaponry, saying, oh, it's just a drill, but we do have some demands. And that's what we can see, right? I have a question about sort of what is hidden. And, we know that Russia has built up its ability to do electronic warfare. We heard a rumor that came out from England a couple weeks ago that said Russia was trying to install a puppet government. There are other approaches that Russia can take to weaken, and has already taken, okay, because they annexed Crimea, and there are Russian separatists in Ukraine that are apparently somehow just allowed to be there and to continue fighting. So actually Russia's already got boots on the ground in Ukraine. They're just, supposedly sort of civilian separatists. So that's what that makes me think of, is not just using all the tools and weaponry, but using all of the tools, both subtle and not so subtle, at their resources to really drive the point home that this is my place.
After looking at this card a little bit longer, I think of that, there's red fluids in there, and I think of that as signing on the dotted line, like dipping your
and then with the devil,
right? And then the other hand is holding, a coin. So there's some money either to be had, or maybe they're being offered some money to step away from this. Of course they want them to sign away something. Right. I'm not certain what all it is, but I know that Russia wants guarantees that Ukraine will not join NATO and some of the other surrounding areas, right?
I mean, I think basically if Ukraine is able to join NATO, then that puts Russia right out of the running for ever having Ukraine back, right? And it sort of puts Ukraine on an adversarial side to Russia, which Russia is not going to appreciate. And, out here in the West, I think we almost all agree that Vladimir Putin is a little too hungry.
He's a thirsty bitch is what he is.
And perhaps thirsty. A little too powerful, considering some of the influences we've seen him wield over the past several years. Yeah, so
I'm thinking that's a sign on the dotted line, which would, sign with blood. Using money, getting money, using force with that wand. These elements are very present. So the current situation, using the force, using the military force, right? The events that will occur, they're already happening. And then the sword is, there are diplomatic talks, right? But there's two edges to that sword. And, Putin is saying one thing and doing another, and it's all just like a propaganda machine. So definitely all four of these events are occurring.
It's all a little bit carrot and stick, and I wouldn't be surprised if he came up with a real obvious carrot and stick sort of routine in the next week to sort of like, hey, Ukraine, but don't you want this? Or hey, world, but don't you want this?
Yeah, possibly. I think that I say everybody that is not pro-Russia are doing that to them right now. Like, hey, we're going to stop this pipeline, and hey, we're going to kick you out of here and do this if you do that.
That could really point to the sanctions as well, because they're tough ones.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so what is the outcome here?
Let's see what the outcome is. The Empress. And just in case you didn't know, the Empress does represent Libra.
Let's get her out of the glare here. So
let's get her out of the glare. Let me put her up here. And as I said before, Vladimir is a Libra. And the Empress is, fertile. Large in charge and power on top of their stuff.
Very well resourced, very well protected.
Yes.
Yeah. Able to create anything they want to create. Pretty much able to have arrange for anything they want to have or arrange for. So
yes.
I mean, we may end up at the by next week looking like Victor Putin is Vladimir Putin, silly me. Looks like he's maybe smelling like a rose in this and getting a better advantage than we thought he did.
Yeah, I'm wondering about this business here, like this chameleon looking, dragon looking, like somebody, obviously, I guess that's just a cloak, right? Somebody in charge, but it really looks like a lizard.
It's like the part that's covered up is the lizard, and the part that hangs out is more,
right?
I don't know, human looking,
right?
With extra boobies,
right? I was gonna say there's a whole extra boob there. So maybe that means they are so fertile that they had to have an extra boob, So, I mean, or maybe that just means, I've got so much coming out of me. I needed to have an extra place to have it empty into,
Creative energy, very much creative energy, very much powerful position. So, whether or not this is the case, it seems to me like, by the end of the week, next week, he might be feeling at least as though he is large and in charge, very much in control, very much in creative control of what's happening. And, things might actually be looking good for him.
Right. So, I feel like this was a pretty accurate read for a justice read. The present situation is all just a show of strength, even if it's just in words. We're all just, kind of talking. We're talking a whole lot. There is actual, strength and force being shown here. And then, the world too, I still look at this and I think that's just kind of, making sure with our allies that we're all on the same path and that we all want to see the same thing in as an outcome in a complete circle, and that we need to use our resources to do that. We need to, balance all of this out. And then the magician, who's going to do whatever with the resources that they have.
Some sort of event is going to entail somebody pulling out all their powers, for sure.
Right. So, you know, yeah. And then on top might just very well be Vladimir Putin. And we are talking justice in the next 7 days. So it looks like maybe in the next 7 days, Vladimir Putin is still going to be kind of ahead of the game here, and or in a powerful position.
Yeah, there's definitely something that he's just not showing us yet, and you know that's very snake in the grass kind of energy that I sort of expect from that human being. So I expect that this time next week, like, I don't know that we're going to have, like, moved a lot. I think we're still going to be showing strength and trying to negotiate a good end to this. But, you know, somebody's got some tricks up their sleeve. That's what I've got, what I see right there. Right. The Empress and the Magician, you know, how they see how they sort of look toward each other there.
Toward each other, right.
So, you know...
Right. I mean,
some sneaky person is doing some sneaky stuff, and I wouldn't be surprised if we find something out about that.
Right. And week. those two are culminated in this one face, right? Like those two faces come together, and then the world is sitting here looking over here at the feats of strength.
And the feats of strength are so absorbed in what they're doing that it doesn't even matter.
It doesn't even matter what the world's thinking right now. Like, they're just like, I'm going to get in here.
This is like all the military personnel. Like, I just got to get ready and get in there.
Yes. Yeah. So.
All right.
Well,
hey, yeah, friends, will you please give us a thumbs up, like our video, subscribe to our channel so that you can see more. We have been doing and will continue to do this reading every Thursday, and we have other reads on our channel as well you might be interested in catching.
Yes. Thumbs up, subscribe, all that kind of good jazz.
Yes, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. We will see you in the next video.